Welcome, everybody. We are here for another episode of our C-Suite Dads video series. I'm really thrilled to have Matthew Zega with us. He is an EOS implementer, and with his business, he facilitates and teaches business leaders like yourselves to use the EOS system. And that way you can live a better life by having a better business. And I'm just really excited to hear more of your story, Matt, and what brought you to this place in your life. So I'll turn things over. Please share a bit more about who you are.
Hey, Brian, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Just a little bit about me. So I'm a father, I'm a husband, a business owner, and blessed with two kids, my 3-year-old son, Noah, and 2-year-old daughter, Ava. And I love teaching, as you mentioned, and watching my children grow. And I also love teaching the businesses I work with and helping them implement EOS, which allows them to run a better business and live a better life. And that ties into a lot of the conversation we'll have here today, living a better life and not always being in the business. So really excited to have a conversation with you today.
Awesome. Thanks. Yes, I'm thrilled too. Much of what we talk about in our Fathering Together spaces and what we're cultivating here in the C-Suite Dad space is exactly what you're talking about. We've got responsibilities to our home, to our business, and sometimes those can intersect and integrate nicely, and sometimes they're very divergent. So I'm wondering, just from your own personal journey, how has fatherhood made you a better business leader?
So I would say that fatherhood really had a drastic change on me as a professional and had a major impact on the way that I entered into fatherhood, so to speak. And, just a quick story, it was around the birth of my daughter, Ava, which is our second child. And this was the fall of 2019. I was taking some time off to reflect. And it was during that time that I actually had this revelation that I wanted to start exploring what life would look for me if I left the engineering consulting business where I sat as a leadership team member for 15 years. And so it was during that time, the week of my daughter's birth, that I was reflecting and spending time with family, that I said to myself, I need to start exploring what this is going to look like for me. And ultimately, it took the course of a year to, through meditation and reflecting and thinking about what life could look like if I made this leap of faith. Ultimately, a year later, I wound up leaving that role. It was a fantastic position that I had, but ultimately I made the leap and went on the journey to start my own business. And it had that in and of itself, fatherhood made me reflect on what my life would look like going forward and the duties and responsibilities that I needed to take as a father.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Yeah. And such a blessing to have the space to do that, right? To be able to take a step back and really look at your values and what it will take to take your life in a new direction. And any insights from that has gone into your your EOS practice?
Yeah, I would just say, taking the time and the space to think, to meditate, to reflect. And so many times as business leaders, we're just caught up in the day-to-day, right? We're focused on what's right in front of us and what do I have to get done today? And what are the calls that I need to make? And what are the meetings that I need to attend? And I need to get these emails out. But making the space to reflect on what's important to you with family and being a father and your children and how you're showing up for them, I think is just so important. And I'm grateful that I almost, to a certain extent, I was forced to take some time off, with the birth of my daughter. And it was in that time that I realized that, Matt, I need to slow down here. And, life goes by fast. And I need to make sure that I'm doing the right things and, showing up as a father and as a dad the way I need to.
That's great. That's great. And so with EOS, do you bring fatherhood into your conversations with business leaders as you're teaching them the system, or is that kind of separate?
So that's an awesome question, Brian. And what I will say to that is that I feel blessed that the work that I do when I'm working with business owners and leaders is doing really what I just talked about. It's helping them elevate above their business, helping them work on the business, helping them systemize their business and then ultimately get to a place that we call living the EOS life. And that's just doing what you love with people you love and having time for other passions and not working that 80-hour week. It's helping create the space in your business and systemize your business so that you can live that. I tend to not like the word balance, but to have the space for your business, but also have the time and the energy and space for your family and the passions and things that make you come alive.
I've heard in many circles, balance is kind of the outgoing term, right? It's all about integration and coming from a place of 50-50 balance with you and your partner, or 50-50 between work and life. It's never going to materialize, right? And I would often joke back when I worked in higher education that we would talk about 50-50 in terms of the entire semester, because some weeks you're putting in 80-90 hours and some weeks there might be a trough, a low point. So really important that there's integration, not necessarily balance. Yeah. What would be something that you could offer a fellow dad if they're looking for EOS services, or some insights from your perspective?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're a business owner, if you're looking to take your business to the next level, if you're looking to systemize your business and help you just live a better life and run a better business, EOS can be a fantastic system, whether you go on that journey to work with an EOS implementer like myself, or quite frankly, a lot of the tools are free. They're online. You can go to the EOS Worldwide website, and there are 400 plus EOS implementers around the globe working with small, medium-sized businesses, helping business owners and leadership teams, live the life that they want to live. So I would absolutely encourage anyone to explore the system. And, Traction is the book that really started it all for the EOS. And that was published by Gino Wickman in and around 2007.
That's great. I should have asked this before, but came to my mind as you're speaking, what would be a sign that you need EOS, or that what would be some kind of warning lights blinking that's your system's out of whack or your life is out of whack, and EOS could be a way to kind of bring you back into balance?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Brian. And really it comes back to, everything that we're talking about today. And it's just business owners, or if you're a leader of an organization, you just feel like either you're stuck, you feel like you've hit a ceiling, you're just always working in the business, and you just feel like you don't have the time to pursue other passions. You feel like your business just isn't in this place. A lot of people come to me and they say, like, Matt, my business is chaos. That's something that I hear so often. And I say, listen, like, you're not alone. Most business owners feel like they're in this place of chaos, or they feel like they just don't have a grip on their business. So, I tell people that you're just normal if that's the case. But, at the same time, there is an opportunity to, help systemize your business and take your business to the next level and get to a place where you feel like you are doing what you love, and, everything is coming together in harmony.
Yeah. Harmony. That's another good word. Yeah. That I'll have to use instead of balance, because there's a symphony that comes with harmonies, right? And a richness that comes with harmonies that we don't see everywhere either. And I think that's ultimately what I would love to see for Fathering Together, for the dads in our community, that there's a richness to their life, that the things we do in our businesses, the things we do with our families, influence and impact one another rather than drain and leave us completely exhausted, or worse, irritable and mad. And that's just going to impact our kids. So appreciate that so much. Any other words of wisdom or closing thoughts before we wrap up today?
This is just, outside of the business realm, just a quick thought. This is actually a practice that I've been employing over the course of the last month. I'm not even sure how it hit me, but just as it relates to fathering and parenting, and something that I've been doing to, quite frankly, just try to become a better dad on my journey, is starting to think and almost meditate how I respond to certain situations. And so sometimes I find myself, if my son does XYZ thing, in the past, maybe I would tend to raise my voice and say, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Well, and what I tended to do is almost programmed. Those responses were programmed into me. And so what I've tried to start to do is like almost meditate on, if I see him doing XYZ thing, like, I'm just going to take a deep breath and I'm going to walk over to him and say, hey, Noah, what's going on here? So almost like think about how I program my own mind and how I react to certain situations. And so that's just one quick nugget in and around fathering that I thought I would share.
That's awesome. Yes, I was just saying to a friend, I have vivid memories of my parents yelling at me, and it never worked to change my behavior. So why am I replicating that
Right.
behavior with my daughters, thinking it might work? So yes, such wisdom there. Thank you, Matt. And thank you all for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with another guest. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Brian.